start this business with no experience. It can be a little shaky. A lot of folks that do get started with us here at American Business Systems, we've had folks that have come in here from contractors to people who had their own business in corporate cleaning. So, the people that go in there and clean offices and anything like that, and they found American Business Systems. As a matter of fact, that is by a gentleman by the name of Benny Biordi. You can actually see his testimony on our YouTube channel, but you can go out there and go visit that. But you'll find a lot of folks that have started this business who have never had any medical business before. Now, it doesn't mean if you've never had healthcare business that you probably want to avoid this. Obviously, if you've had some healthcare business, this is actually going to just propel you even a little bit faster, and even you'll learn a little bit quicker on some of these things. But we're here to handhold you through the entire process. So why would you get started in a business that you know nothing about? Well, let me just talk with you here a little bit before I even get into the slides, because the slides are obviously here to help us kind of guide us. But as I've always said, the webinars that I do with you, I just kind of like to know that, Ellie, you and I are just at a coffee shop and we're talking, or Elaine or Jordan or John, Mike. There's a couple of mics here on here today. So just think of yourself. We're at a coffee shop. We're just talking, and you're asking me questions about, wow, is this a good business? What do you think about it? Have you been a part of it? So again, you can ask me any of these questions. I can tell you that whenever I came into working with American Business Systems, my business background was not in healthcare. It was in business. It was in business performance, helping businesses perform better at what they're doing. So there was somewhat of a niche to this, of what I was able to find. But I also had to learn all the terminology that we're going to be talking about today. And here we are 16 years later that I've owned 2 medical billing companies here, and have let those go and sold those off. And so doing some other things in healthcare, and then keep supporting American Business Systems by doing these webinars. So there is a lot of things that I've been there. I've been right where you are on these webinars to kind of help coach you and guide you. So we're not speaking from inexperience. I've done everything from teaching the training classes to helping out in administration here at American Business Systems. So feel free to ask me any questions. Now, I will tell you that I may not know every question, and that's okay, because I know some folks that can help you answer those questions. So today I thought what we'd just start, just kind of think about things, let's talk about some medical billing basic things. Just what is medical billing in and of itself? So one of the things that I think a lot of people would like to, obviously, wouldn't it be nice if everybody that's on here today, there's 20 plus people on here this afternoon, and what if I were to say at the end of the webinar, for everybody that's on here today, you're going to get a brand new doctor today. When you invest in yourself, not only are you getting started in the business, we're going to teach you and train you, but we're also going to hand you a doctor. We would sell this like hotcakes. We would have to actually go way up on the price, because it would just be too much for us to even handle. But in the beginning, wouldn't it be nice that you could possibly get some leads and get some possibilities of some understanding some things before you actually start here with American Business Systems? And that's what I like to try to do with these webinars, is to get you prepared to start thinking in the terms of, obviously, in medical billing or in healthcare in that first part. So instead of it calling medical billing, let's call it by what the doctors know about. Obviously, they know it by medical billing, but that's kind of like the elementary type of things that we're discussing. The thing that we really want you to start to understand and start talking is in the world of what's called revenue cycle management, or RCM. Because if you were to go talking to a doctor today, and let's just say that you were at a luncheon, or you've been talking this up with friends, and all of a sudden your friend said, hey, John over here is looking to get into medical billing. And that doctor goes, you know what, I'd love to talk with them. And all of a sudden they walk over to you and say, hey, I'm Dr. Smith. Your buddy over here told me that you're a medical biller. Can I ask you some questions? And all of a sudden you're going, well, I don't know where to begin. So at least right now you could say, you know what, I am getting into revenue cycle management. So I kind of know the concepts of this. So this is what I want to kind of teach you today. First of all, let's not get too scared about this. It's just in the doctor's world, in the office manager's world, they're thinking of things of revenue cycle management. They'll vacillate between medical billing, using that, versus revenue cycle management. The real technical part of this is called revenue cycle management, because it starts off with obviously data collection. That data collection really begins of actually collecting the patient's data. I'm going to go back up over here to this particular slide here, because in our iClaim platform, this is really what makes this platform so much different than any other billing or revenue cycle management platform out there on the market. And that is because built inside of the iClaim platform is an element that is vital to any billing system out there to get the claims from that billing software, obviously, to the insurance companies. And that element is what's called a clearinghouse. Every billing system, every billing platform has to be connected to a clearinghouse in order to transfer that data from that particular software, get it to the clearinghouse. It does what it needs to do there, checks and does some checks and balances there, then finally gets it to the insurance company for reimbursement. But there's a couple of things here that I want you to keep in mind. Just because the claim looks okay in, let's say, every system outside of iClaim, it looks good, and they ship it off to a clearinghouse, that clearinghouse is going to look at it, and that clearinghouse could actually reject that claim and send it back for rework. Okay, so that's one area of where a claim could get rejected. Then, let's just say it does go through the clearinghouse and it finally gets to the insurance company. The insurance company is going to look at it, and they too could look at it and reject that claim and ship it all the way back to you. You got to rework the whole thing all over again. The reason I'm telling you this story is because within iClaim, and inside of it, we have our own clearinghouse inside of it. You're actually able to kind of sidestep a lot of things that could cause a claim to get rejected, because it's looking at it from the system, the iClaim system, but also as a clearinghouse altogether. So by the time that you get through with this, your claim for a doctor, you almost 98% sure that that claim is going to be accepted by the insurance company. Yes, there are a few that come back from the insurance company, but it's an easy workaround, and it's a very quick turnaround to get that back. So that's a very important part of our system here with iClaim. So going back over here to the revenue cycle management circle here, part of what's important is collecting the data from the patient, making sure that the patient's data is correct. That's really where it's going to get rejected from the insurance company, because you can do all the right codes and have everything else in there, gets through the clearinghouse, but it finally gets to, let's call Aetna, and Aetna goes, we don't have a John J. Smith spelt that way, and the birth date's off and everything, so that claim gets sent back. What our system will do in data collections is, because we have our own clearinghouse, we can literally go in through our system, out to Aetna, check that patient's data, make sure that we can retrieve the data as Aetna has it and bring it back into our system. So we can do the first name, last name, street address, collect all that data in there correctly. So we're starting off with obviously good data. That's very important. So you can see data collections is very important. So whenever I'm talking to a brand new doctor, one of the things I want to find out is how often you get claims rejected because you got wrong patient data in the system and it delays you getting paid. You can find out a lot of doctors are going to say, yeah, that happens quite often. Well, what if I could show you a way within our system, I could pretty much eliminate that, because I'm going to pull all the data from those insurance companies because our system connects directly to those. And then we can demonstrate that too. So you can see here, it starts with data collections. Then it moves on to claims transition. Well, I've already kind of talked about that. If I got the correct data in the system, now I'm going to start putting the correct medical data in the system that the doctor gives me. That's going to go pretty smoothly. Then you can see number 3 is claims management. That's where if in the event that I need to do any corrections or get a claim that gets rejected or returned back, denied, then I'll work those and rework those. Folks, most of our business owners that are on the iClaim system only have to work probably less than 2% of all the claims that they have to do. because again, that's about where our rejection rate is less than 2%. So imagine making sure that that doctor is getting paid nearly, 20, nearly 98% of all of that they're doing. That's a lot. I mean, that's a good deal instead of this, I've seen some doctors have rejection rates as high as 10 to 15, up to 20%. And there's actually some that are higher than that, but there's no reason to kind of go there because the average is around 15 to 20. Then you see the next part of it, AR follow-up. That's the accounts receivables. Now that's where you're kind of doing some of your work because the doctors, you've sent the claim out, the insurance is paid. Now you got to make sure you got to post that payment, get that, make sure that the doctor can see it on their side of iClaim. And then so you're doing all of that. Finally, you're going to do the reporting. The reporting is part of what you're going to invoice the doctor for the money that you collected. So let's say that you collected $20,000 for that month, and your arrangement for that doctor is 7%. Well, then you obviously at that point you can kind of do the math about how much you're going to be making out of that. So you can see this is this whole what's called a revenue cycle management. It starts all over again. You got new patients that are coming in, claims transmission, you got the whole thing. So I'm kind of giving you just a very basic, brief understanding of revenue cycle management. Now, let's move on to coding because this is where a lot of people get hung up on because they go, I'm not a coder. I'm not a coder either. I would never claim to be a coder because coders, if they're going to become what's called a certified professional coder, literally have to go to school, and then they've got another year of apprenticeship that they have to go through. Well, as a business owner in medical billing, I don't have the time to go through that training, don't want to go through that training. So what do we have best? But I want to talk with you real quickly here in the beginning that there really is a difference between coders and billers. So let's first of all talk what a medical coder does. A medical coder will actually take and read the doctor's notes. So like yesterday, I had to go to my primary care, and I'd sit there and he listened to everything I had to say, and then he took his notes. And then if he was going strictly by just his notes and he was going to send it to a coder, then that coder would then turn those notes into numerical medical codes. Okay, there would be a diagnosis code, what would be wrong with me, and then there would be a procedure code of what the doctor did for me that the coder would put together on that. The difference between a coder and a medical biller, a biller is going to take the codes already. They don't, the notes are already coded. And typically most doctors, when they give their documentation to a biller, the doctor themselves have already done what's called the procedure code or the CPT code, or with the really kind of what's wrong with you, and the diagnosis code, and then the procedure code. What did they do for you? How long did they talk with you? And then so those two codes go together. And so they input that into the system. So again, kind of going back to this revenue cycle management, the biller is kind of sitting at 1, 2, 3. You don't see anything in here about coding. So that you as a medical billing company, you're going to be doing all of this. Where a coder would fit in is really between 1 and 3 or 2, between 1 and 3. It could be right in here. That's why I'm going to go back up over here to one of these other slide up here. That's why we have AutoGuard and CodeWrite. Because if you run into a doctor, let's say a surgeon, most surgeons dictate all of their notes and they send it to a coder in order for someone to bill. And if you ever run into a doc like that, we have those services. So you don't need to become a coder. We already have that. We have coders, certified professional coders that will take that up for you. So, and then they're going to get you those codes. Then you're going to put it into iClaim, get it shipped off, get the doctor paid, off you go. Okay. So medical billing coding, again, turns words into numbers for the doctor. And again, there are 2 sets of codes I've already mentioned to you. There's the first one. The first one, if you're taking notes, is this. Is a diagnosis code. Okay. That means the medical condition of the patient. Now, since I've already given you that one, can anybody quickly type into me what the next code is going to be? If you got a diagnosis code, what is the other code that we're waiting for from the doctor? Let's see if anybody was paying attention there, because I did say it a couple of times. pi. Now, I'm not sure what that is. CPT. Okay, yeah, the CPT code. That would be the procedure code. Elaine heard it, and so did Caitlin. Caitlin put it the CPT code. Yes, so that's the procedure code. So the procedure code is what's tied to how much the doctor is going to get reimbursed. So that's a very important code. Okay, so you can see here, it's what the doctor or the physician did to take care of the patient. So you got the first one there. You got a diagnosis code. See, by the time you get through the day's webinar, you're going to kind of already know what to do. So you're going to go in with a little bit of experience after the day. So you've got the diagnosis code, you got the procedure code. The diagnosis code is what's wrong with the patient. The procedure code is what the doctor did, and it's tied to the money. Okay, just remember that. That procedure code is how much the doctor's going to get reimbursed. The more procedure codes, the more the doctor's going to get paid, which means that the doctor could see you for like a 99214 or 99215, which is the highest level to get reimbursed from a primary care physician or a specialist. Plus, if they give you an injection or they do another procedure during that day, the doctor can bundle all that in there, and that's how the doctor's going to get paid. Now, for you, again, as a medical billing company or a revenue cycle management company, I want you to walk away from today's webinar that most doctors that you're going to do billing for, it's the doctor's responsibility to provide the medical billing codes to the billing company. Most of them already have their coders, or the doctors provide their codes. Now, again, kind of going back up here to this slide up over here, inside of iClaim, or let me kind of move up to the bigger part of the EMRX. If the doctors are using our electronic medical records system, as the doctors are taking notes, it's already given the doctor the suggested procedure codes and the diagnosis codes for that particular visit. So even the doctors have kind of taken the guesswork even out of for the doctors for this. So it is the doctor's responsibility. And if the doctors are using EMRX, when they get through seeing that patient, they threw up their notes, they click it, and it's going over you. Before that doctor or that patient's even walking out of that room, you could already have that claim already on your side. You could be billing that claim and getting that claim, doing the work almost in real time while the doctor's doing that. So what you don't need, as you can see here, you're not going to need to have all these books here. The CPT codes, again, that's procedure codes, and the ICD-10s, which are the diagnosis codes. Now, it wouldn't hurt to have them as references, but it's not necessary because, again, in our system, or with one of the processes that we have here, or one of the solutions that we have for you, is a full medical billing coding solution. We have certified professional coders that can be there for you at any time. This is a beautiful way that whenever a doctor says, hey, if you're going to do my billing, can you do my coding? Or do you have coders on staff? And your answer will always be yes. You say, we've got plenty of coders. I've got enough to handle your business and more. So not any problems. So all medical codes are all included and always up to date, obviously within our system. So I wanted to kind of just lay that out for you because, again, most folks that are getting involved in an entrepreneurship in healthcare, specifically around revenue cycle management, there's always this big concern about, what if I don't know codes? And so I wanted you to walk away today from today's webinar really relaxed, going, okay, Eric's helping me here. I can see that, yes, I don't need to have experience because obviously I got folks behind me and I've got a system there that's going to help me through that. So let's kind of go through a little bit about medical training, what this is going to look like. And again, feel free to ask any questions as we kind of go through here. Now, a couple of weeks ago, some of you might remember that I went into a very, very, very deep dive on what you get out of training. But so what I'm going to do now is kind of just do a flyover on that because, again, there's no sense of me going into a real deepness on the training. But what I want you to understand here, for those that are brand new on today's webinar, that in your training, you're going to go through 10 modules of training here. Now, these 10 modules would take you about 90 minutes each. It shouldn't take you any more than 2 weeks to complete this. And that's important for you because towards the end of the presentation, I want to show you that you'll be able to go through training. And if at the end of this training, you're still not satisfied with it, I'm going to show you that if you feel like you need to get a refund, I'm going to show you how you can do that. But these 10 training modules are all the things that you're going to be learning. Now, again, if you'll go back, oh, let's see, when did I do that webinar? It must have been just a couple of weeks ago that I did that, where it's a very deep dive into training. And obviously, you've got your business coach here that you're working with. They will take their time to kind of go through and kind of share with you all that you're going to be learning. So at the end of this 10th module that you get through with, you will practically know as much, if not more, about revenue cycle management than most people that work in a doctor's office. Anything from the medical assistant to the staff there at the front desk, and a lot of times even the doctor, because there's a lot of things that we're going to cover and keep you trained on. Because out of each section, you're going to have a homework summary, things that you're going to have to learn how to do. That first thing there you see, what's an EOB? What's an ERA? What's a PM? What's a EMR? What's the difference between that and the EHR? What is EPCS? What is FQHC? We're going to take you through all these new things, these new acronyms, so that you'll have all of this done and memorized. All right, Ernest is asking, so in this business venture, the only thing I have to do is wait for the codes and the building insurance companies. Practically, yeah. Well, obviously, the first thing to do is learning how to get your first doctor. If I'm going to go back one slide up here, you can see in Module 1, there's an introduction, there's practice workflow, introduction to medical billing, and then all of this is all these different services. And then starting up at Module 6 is your introduction to marketing, your warm marketing. So this is how you're going to, once you've got a doctor, obviously you need to learn all of that stuff. You need to know all of your solutions first, even before you do the marketing. So that's how we work that. Shahid is asking, will I be listening to a recording of this webinar? This webinar is being recorded. So if you'd like to share this back with somebody that you're working with, you'll be able to come back and listen to this. I know that some of you might have to leave a little bit early. We're already at 4:36 according to my clock here. And I tell you, these webinars go by pretty quickly here. So what you're going to, for the next 25 minutes, I'm going to try to get through the rest of these slides. So feel free again to type in any questions, and I'll see what I can do to get you there. So the next thing we're going to teach you on is medical software training. Really, what is this software? I mentioned to you earlier on about NextGen. NextGen is our partner to supply us, American Business Systems and its business owners, iClaim, EMRX, the Clearinghouse, and the Patient Portal. So obviously, iClaim is what's called a PM, or Practice Management System, okay? So when we saw that acronym a little bit, a couple of slides up a little bit ago, that's what that is. That's called a Practice Management System. What makes it a Practice Management System is because this is where all of the patient data resides. Now, one good thing about it is, even though you're able to keep and capture all patient data, I mean, everything from their addresses to all their diagnoses and everything else inside of iClaim, but thankfully, it's not on your particular hard drive in your office or on a laptop, because the last thing you want to do is have a HIPAA compliancy issue, lose that laptop, or something happens to your computer and you lose all the data. iClaim is obviously a cloud-based, a very secure cloud-based system. It's as secure, if not even more secure than, because it has to meet the requirements for HIPAA to even be an online system. So we're talking security levels that are like a DoD type of security, because you're dealing with patients' data, and that has to stay secure. But thankfully, it's not on your computer. Ernest says, can I get copies of the slides to read over after this webinar? You sure can. I'm going to make sure that your business coaches all have these slides. I'm going to sort of make sure that I turn them into a PDF. So thanks for reminding me about that. Then you've got EMRX. This is the doctor's interface. So remember, whenever you go into a doctor's office, they've already got some kind of computer system. No doctors just walk in with a piece of paper anymore. They've got a computer. They're typing everything out. They're speaking in their computer systems. EMRX is that type of platform. They can use it with an iPad. They can use it with a laptop that has a touch screen, because all these buttons that you see there are accessible via that way, or they can use their mouse to navigate through all of that. But this is how the doctor will see the patient. Now, what's great about this is that through the patient portal, there's the patient portal, the patient obviously can do all of their paperwork, get everything they need, and it filters directly into the EMRX system, so that when the doctor is ready to see you, you don't have to fill out all that paperwork at the office. Everything's right there for the doctor to go with. And then once you see the doctor, they're going to say, okay, it sees here, I'm seeing here you're coming in for a cough, or you're coming in here for knee problems, or you got a shoulder problem, or you got a skin problem, or whatever you're going to the PCP for or a specialist for. Now that information that you put in there as a patient is already there. Plus, with the patient portal, now this is what's really, I think, advanced. It was advanced before COVID. This is one of the things that we like to say. We were kind of ahead of the whole COVID movement, but we were already doing telemedicine there. And you can see that on here, the patients can request a telemed visit. This is the engagement that that is being used within inside the system. Now, these aren't modules that are separate. These are all working pieces of the same software, so nothing gets lost in there. So kind of illustrate that here, you can see that the patient can do all they need to do at home, fill in all their information, pay their bills, even request other appointments through the patient portal. All of that information will filter down to the doctor electronically, so by the time the patient arrives there, all that information's in there. But when the doctor gets through seeing the patient, then that claim is literally ready to be billed. And because iClaim has its own built-in clearinghouse, as you can see it here, then once you, as the medical billing company, the revenue cycle management company, once those claims come through, as the patients are basically leaving the office and the doctor's wrapped up and they've signed off on their notes, that claim is ready for you to bill. So literally, you could be doing billing for that doctor in real time. And I'm going to tell you, once they go through the clearinghouse, it's going to the insurance companies a lot of times that same day. So you can't get a claim out to the insurance company any faster than what I'm sharing with you right here. All right, so I got a little break here before I go into the next little section here. Ernest is talking about security. So while I'm kind of in this section here, let's kind of stick with this. So I travel a lot to Africa. Can I work over there with a different computer, or do I have to bring my own laptop? No, as long as you've got an internet connection wherever you're doing this from, it's all secured through any internet system that you need to have. Chris is asking, is having a medical coding certification a plus point in approaching the doctors to gain their business? Absolutely. If you've got it, great. If not, it's no big deal, because you're able to say, I'm the owner, I employ coders. I mean, whether you're the coder or whether you hire and staff coders, you're the business owner. And I guess that's one of the things I want to make sure that everybody understands. You're coming in as the business owner. You are the top person in your organization. You're not just the biller, okay? You didn't go to school just to become a biller at a doctor's office. That's why, if you think about it, major entrepreneur players that are out there, I mean, we're talking on levels where, they're spending millions of dollars to buy businesses. They may be the owner of the business, but they may know, let's just say that I've got $1 million or more, and I want to go buy a shoe factory. I've never put a shoe together, but guess what? I'm the owner of that. I got people who make shoes. They've been making shoes forever. I'm going to keep those people hired. You see, that's what you're doing here. You're becoming a owner of a medical billing company, not just the actual biller. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't do the billing. A lot of people start off in doing the billing in the beginning, and then they keep hiring folks. But I want you to kind of step this up to know that you're the owner of your company. You already have coders in the background. That's one thing that I wanted you to make sure that you understood. Ernest is asking another question. Do I have to deal with just insurance companies or contacts the patients as well? There might be some times that you might need to contact some of the patients. Mike says he needs to sign off early. Thanks, Mike. This is being recorded. You can come back and watch a little bit later, and then we'll have some of these printed out for you if you need to get those. Shahad is says, should I mention this on my business card? Absolutely. I mean, whatever you can put on your business card and there's room for it, you bet. All right, we have about 15 minutes left here, so let's get on to the next set of slides here. Marketing training. Again, this is where what you need to know here with some of the, specifically with Audit Guard, as we're talking about here, the whole thing about coding. Now, I've been dealing with CodeWrite mostly because those are your coders that are ready to do the codes for doctors strictly from the notes. But I also want to say that any doctor could be under an audit by Medicare, by Aetna and Cigna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, any of these insurance companies at any given time. And what they're going to say is, hey, I'm going to say Medicare, we're doing a chart audit. Send us 50 of your charts, this specific, and we want to look at your 99214s and 99215s. The doctors can't go, no, I don't want to send those to you. They have to. And these insurance companies will do a review on these doctors. We have a professional auditing service called Audit Guard that can do pre-audits for doctors already. So again, this could be part of one of your marketing techniques that you can go, hey, look, I own a revenue cycle management company. I employ certified professional coders. And one of the services that we like to do for doctors to introduce our services is to do an audit on a set of your charts there. And for this particular fee, what we're going to do is do a complete audit on all of your business and make sure that you're within the ranges that you need to be. Because what we're going to look at is the time that the doctor literally spent with the patient and what the doctor did for it, and make sure that the procedure codes match those notes. That's what these auditors are looking at from the insurance companies. What you're going to be able to do is give that same type of audit for these doctors for a fairly low cost for them, because it could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars if they're off. Because what the insurance companies will do is do what's called a clawback, which means that if there's errors, those insurance companies are going to claw that money back. So that means the next set of claims that they send back, instead of paying them $1,000, they're going to say, okay, well, we're going to withhold what you owe us, and here's a check for $100. You see? So remember, you're a revenue cycle management company. You're a certified medical revenue manager. You're not just a biller. You're trying to look at for all revenue of the doctor, even money that they could be clawed back on. Okay. The other thing that's very important for the doctors to understand is HIPAA compliance. Actually, this is very interesting. This is one of my key areas of, I think I've learned from my wife. My wife used to be an English teacher. She was a homeschool teacher. She's got an editor's eye, but she has learned to teach me how to look at certain things as well. I know I can look at a doctor's office or documentation, and I can tell you whether that doctor's office knows what they're talking about a lot of times, because they a lot of times misspell HIPAA, because many people will put 2 P's instead of 2 A's there. Now, it's important for you to know that that's important, because there's not 2 P's in that part of it. So what you need to understand is what I'm talking about here is, if they got that wrong, then their whole security system around patient privacy is out the window. So this is probably one of the most vulnerable places in a doctor's office. So let me kind of share with you how I would approach a doctor if I were in your shoes and I was trying to get started. I don't mind going around and visiting doctor's offices and dropping off a business card and saying and asking these words. I tell them who I am, and then I would say, I'd like to speak with your HIPAA compliance officer. You're going to end up getting an audience, because obviously they think they're under investigation already. And it's not that you're trying to be deceiving, but what you're going to try to do is get to the right person. Because at that point, then you can say, we do a complete audit on your HIPAA compliance. And if we find holes, we're here to help do and fix those. Obviously, there's a cost to it, but a lot of people want to know, hey, what do I want to do to kind of get my foot in the door? These services will help you do that. Also, choice pay is the same thing. So as you can see here, I'm trying to teach you how to use these services that we don't talk a whole lot about on webinars to actually get your foot in the door. How about choice pay? How about in the next couple of months, we're going to be turning to 2024. Everybody's deductible is going to start all over again. So to help out with higher deductibles, the patients might need a payment plan. We've got an automated payment plan for the doctor's patients. How about accounts receivables? The doctors are getting behind. They've got people that said the patients promised to pay, and instead of sending them to collections, we've got a completely better, much more professional way to help the doctors get their accounts receivables back up to where they need to be. So you can see everything I've shared with you so far is either find a way to help the doctor keep the money that they have, that they've received, or help the doctors get what they're paid for. And this is all outside of billing. So whether it's Quick Collect or, again, HIPAA Compliancy or Compliancy Guard or any of these others that I've mentioned to you so far, we're going to teach you and train you on those parts of it there. As we kind of wrap up here, you're going to learn about the support training. And this, again, is a lifetime of support. You never have to pay extra or additional years to continue to keep your support here. We are always here to help you. We've had people come into the business. They've gotten 3 to 4 or 5 doctors. We don't hear from them from a long time. And all of a sudden, about 2 or 3 years later, they go, you know what? I got another group of doctors that need to get started. Can you help me with demonstrations? We will continue to keep helping you. A lifetime of support with your doctors. Whatever they need, we're here to help you because we're here to help and support you. Then we have all the marketing material that you're going to need, whether it's these nice business cards. These are not business cards. These are postcards that are through auto card that the doctors, you can set up a campaign where these postcards will start going out to doctors, just kind of like what you think of drip marketing campaigns directly to the doctor's office. And then you have all of our professional marketing pieces that many of you have already heard about so far. You're getting over 2,000 marketing pieces that you're going to be able to utilize to help you and help you get your business up and going. Then we have additional training. We have a lifetime of access to all of our training video library. Plus, there are live webinars that we do continually. Again, I just noticed that there is, for our business owners, not for people like yourself that are looking to get in the business, but these are for our business owners. We actually have other upcoming trainings, webinars that are, again, at no additional cost, no additional fees for our current business owners. Then if you need help with the lifetime of membership, you're going to have this inside of our private Facebook group. This is part of, think of this as Myrma on steroids, right at your fingertips. Because if you need help with a cardiologist or you need help with anything, you can post it on there and say, hey, I'm a brand new business owner here at American Business Systems, and I got invited into a luncheon, and it's a group of cardiologists. What questions should I be asked? Boom, you're going to get all sorts of answers. Or if you actually land a doctor and you need help with making sure you get it all set up. I'm a brand new business owner here at American Business Systems, and I need someone to kind of help me. Is there anybody willing to help me kind of get this one doctor launched? Boom, you got help right immediately. This is all inclusive to what you get here. Again, your website is also included. You don't have to go out there and write all the things that you need to write for a website. I think out of all the times that I've started the business and I try to create a website, the thing that takes me the longest is making sure I got all the right words in the website and it's all done properly. We've got it all there for you. So they're templated there. You can do some changes. You can add some of your own language again, but we want to make sure it's all spelled correctly and have everything connected right. You've got all of that. Plus, you've got you have a lifetime access to our private support portal, which is called the ABS LSS. So it is a licensee support site. We used to call all of our business owners licensees because you're being licensed for all of this stuff here. So this is part of what you're getting here. Then again, the auto card that I mentioned earlier. This is the cloud-based automated marketing system that we have for you. Live virtual training events. We have everything and anything that you need. So as we kind of wrap up here, I wanted to kind of review a couple of questions, but before I get into the kind of the FAQs, I want to make sure that I've got all questions answered over here, and then we'll start wrapping up. So Ernest is asking a couple of questions. Do you have standardized system for working with all insurance companies? All insurance companies are included. He's also asking, do you have, so I have to search for my customer doctors, correct? Yes. So we're going to show you how to do that. There's not a list of doctors that we can give you. There's no doctors that are saying, hey, my business is so bad, I'm looking for a medical billing person. We're going to show you how to do that. And it's a very painless way. I've shared many times on the webinars how we help you market to get some doctors, and we can certainly help you out with that. But remember to ask your business coach, because they've got a lot of information. They've got all the things that they can spend as much time with you. So be sure to get back with your business coach, because they're going to help you. If you're stuck on a question like maybe like Ernest, do I have to go get my own clients? Get back with your business coach. They're going to show you how easy it is that we're going to help you to do that. Final one here, Chris is asking, all the extra services that you just mentioned, like audit and collection agency for the doctors, are these just extra features that ABS offers to get our foot into the business, or do we as a medical biller get a portion of that money? You get a portion of the money. You're going to find out that you're making override on all the things there. So that's not, yes, you're making money, whether it's virtual care, if it's audit guard, all these different, you make money. Think of it that there is a wholesale price and then you're at the retail price. So just kind of think of it like that, because obviously you need to pay for these people that are going to do your services, like for your audit, because you're going to charge the doctor. I'll give you an example here. It may not be the right numbers, but just forgive me. I'm just kind of giving an example. So let's say that you do an audit for a doctor for $2,000 for like audit guard. It may cost you $1,200 to pay the actual people to do the work, the audit guard people to do the work, and there you've made $800. That's what I'm talking about. None of that comes back to American Business System. That's between you and the arrangement with all these different services. So that's what you've got. Okay, some FAQs. How long does it take the course? Or how long do I have access to the course? You have to access to the course for a lifetime, because again, every of those 10 modules that I showed you earlier, those have already been recorded by the instructor that does the instructing. It's all been recorded, so it's all there. It's on our website. Now, when you go through training, that's not a recording. That's like what you see here. You're live, except you'll have access to your microphone there, and you'll be engaged with the trainer there. But access to the course, lifetime. If you ever need any help, we can help you go through that. When does the course start and finish? Well, the course starts now. You can actually get started within the next couple of days. Once you've completed all of your paperwork here and you funded your business here, you can get started probably as early as next week. It's a completely self-paced online course. You decide when you want to start. You decide when you want to finish. If you want to take the 30 days to finish it, then that's up to you. But most people get started. It's a 10 module, 90 minutes each. Most people get wrapped up in 2 weeks on that. What if I'm unhappy with the course? What happens if I do that? Well, again, within the first 30 days, if you decide this is not for you, just email support@absystems support or support@absystems.com, and we're going to arrange a refund for that. There is no other business opportunity or franchise that will allow you to kind of sit through their entire course and then still give you the opportunity to get your money back. That's a Patrick Phillips promise to you, because what he would rather develop with you are friends and relationships, be part of the family. We certainly don't want to create enemies. So this is why we've done what we've been able to do. So your steps are simply, when you're ready to take the leap, you fund your business at the $28,990 right now. Remember, it's going to go up after the first of the year. I don't know what it's going to go up to. That should be being released in the next month or so. But get your investment turned in, fill out your paperwork, schedule your training, go through the entirety of the training. Matter of fact, I said like it's going to take you less than 2 weeks to get that done. And then at the end of that training, still use this 30 days as still part of your due diligence. If you feel like at the end of that 30 days is not for you, then ask for your money back. You ship us the Everything that we shipped you, we're going to send you back your money. We're not going to keep any of it. We're not going to hold anything hostage. We just want to make sure that you're happy, and we just part as friends. That's the guarantee that, again, man, what better else could you ask for that? So we kind of wrapped up. Again, we want to apologize. It wasn't anything on Jen's part. She didn't want to do this. She just had something come up, but we had to have some topic for the day. You got me instead of two people here, so hopefully hopefully you got a lot there. I'm going to leave this up here. Michael's asking a couple of questions. How long is AB Systems doing as far as business goes? I ask because if I pay and start, are you strong enough to keep going in the business so I continue to have? Well, Michael, I'll tell you, we've been around for 30 years. Part of how we do business here, again, we don't do any franchise fees. There's no royalty fees. So one way in which we make money on the long run is that each of those services that we were talking about here, I'm going to pull this back up over here. Let me get back up to the very beginning here. So all these different services that you see here, each of these companies, when you use them, then they pay ABS on the back end. But again, let me kind of share with you. Let's pick that one, Audit Guard right there. Let's say that you got a doctor that needs that, and you charge that doctor $2,000. And then Audit Guard says, okay, for the services that we did for that doctor, Eric, you owe us $1,200. Then you pay them $1,200. You don't have to pay them $1,200 and then pay ABS a portion. We just know that when Audit Guard does that business, then we're going to get some on the back end from them. Same thing with iClaim and EMRX. As claims go through there, because we're bringing so much business to NextGen is actually giving us money back. So to hopefully help answer your question there, Michael, we've got enough to keep going, whether we get any more business from anybody else out there. So that's what hopefully that kind of helps help that. SIP is asking, I ran into an issue selling insurance due to prospecting for leads. What ways can ABS assist in getting doctors for medical billing clients? Again, since we're running out of time, go back over and get with your business coach. They're going to help you with that. Hopefully they'll lead you over to a webinar that we did on how we help you get your doctor. So we can help you with that. The cost again is $28,990 at this point. Jordan, have to get going. Thanks so much for the information. I understand. Go ahead. It's being recorded if you're still there. Chris is saying at the end of the training, are we certified? You are certified by MIRMA. You're going to get a certification. James says, good information today. Thanks. Have a great week. Thank you, sir. Sorry if I missed it. What physician credentialing was physician credentialing one of the services offered? Yes, you can see it right down there. I still have it up there. Credentials now. So that's there. You bet. Good. Yep, got that one. Chris says, awesome. Thank you. Have a good weekend. You do the same. I'm going to take you through some steps here if you want to kind of see those real quickly as we're kind of getting wrapped up here. If you haven't already, go get the research guide. Just ask for your business coach. They'll get you that. I've mentioned it many times. If you missed a webinar, you go check it out at youtube.com/YABS. Start making some phone calls to to business, current ABS business owners. They'll be happy to chat with you. Saeed said they had to drop off. Thank you. You bet. No problem. I know we're going over just a little bit. Request a live demonstration of the iClaim EMRX system. Do that with your business coach. Finally, get that purchase agreement, review it. If you're going to invest, get that going so we can get your training started as early as next week. Folks, it's been my pleasure. Again, hey, listen, hopefully today's topic was good for you. We're going to try to get Jen rescheduled here shortly, but hopefully we covered a lot of information for you. I'm going to try to get this out to your business coaches so they can get you a PDF of this, everybody. So as we've said in the past, you'll have a great week, great weekend. We'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, and keep your studying, keep your due diligence, and hopefully we'll see you as a business owner here very soon. Thanks so much. Y'all have a good night, everybody.